Angel Anise, and I am the supervising video producer for Elle.com. And I want to welcome you all to our fifth installment of Hearst Black Culture's Quarantini. HBC was founded in 2019 to give Black employees at Hearst a platform to amplify our voices and our unique perspectives, and Quarantinis was born out of that. And from this global pandemic to allow us to fellowship with one another and check in during an unprecedented time. And tonight we are raising a glass to a very special guest, Serayah. You may know her from her role as Tiana Brown on Empire. She is also a model, singer, content creator, and one of our favorite emerging stars. Everyone, Serayah.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
As good as one can be considering everything that's going on, but you know, we're all hanging in there.
Absolutely. Same here.
Yes. So we were talking a little bit before before we started this call with everyone, but you are now in LA.
Yes.
Yes. How are things looking out there right now?
I think they're just now starting to open up as far as like, you know, the lockdown and things like that. But I think it's still restricted, curbside pickup, things like that. But I think my mom just went to the mall, so she's telling me some of the stores are still closed. So we'll see what happens in the next week or two.
Right. Well, it's nice you still have family there and close to you.
Yes.
But I definitely wanted to kick this off because you are an artist, you are a creator, but for several months we've all been relegated to just being home. So how are you staying inspired and creative during this quarantine?
So it's been a roller coaster ride of creativity and boredom and bursts of energy. I feel like when the first 2 weeks of quarantine, I was really recording a lot. And then I took a break a little bit. I just got back from Atlanta, and then I started back up recording there as well. So I guess maybe the change of atmosphere and going to a couple marches and things like that gave me some more like inspiration, and I got back in the studio.
Nice. So we'll touch on this a little later, but it sounds like new music is coming, right?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Well, that's exciting. But you know, this is also, I said earlier, it's an unprecedented time, and I don't think that word really gives this season justice. You know, obviously we're dealing with this global pandemic and stay home orders, but we're also in a season where we as a nation, as a world, are facing these instances of police brutality, of racial inequities, and just other injustices that have occurred here since the inception of this country. And social media has had a huge role in that because we are relegated to just being home. So I wanted to talk to you as a public figure who has a huge following on social media about what you feel your role is with all of the activism that's happening and how you're using your platform.
Absolutely. I agree with you. There's a sense of being kind of in the house where you feel you're seeing all these videos and all this content of what's going on, and you kind of are left feeling a little powerless and defeated and upset and mad and angry, as well as happy about, you know, the peaceful protesting and things like that, and hopeful for a change and stuff like that. But for me, I think right now I'm just, my part in it all was taking a step back, because I was actually supposed to release my project kind of in the midst of all of this going on, and I pulled the release, and I just feel like there are important things going on right now and lives being lost, and if there's any other way that I can be involved with the community, that's more of my focus. With still planning to release music later this summer, hopefully, but I think the focus right now is what I've been doing is meeting up with friends and talking about solutions, and just doing my own research and just learning a lot more for myself during this time too is really imperative for me. So I tend to inspire on my page and motivate, but also a little bit more of like be informative to my fans, because I do have a lot of younger fans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and definitely that generation, those younger people are going to be the people who eventually will be able to vote and really be rallying behind all this civic engagement. So we have to definitely keep them, you know, engaged.
Right.
I think this is a special edition of Quarantinis too, because we really wanted to talk about what we're all experiencing and dealing with as Black women. You know, there's the saying that Black women are fighting many wars right now. We have racial injustices. We're fighting misogyny in and outside of our communities. We're dealing with topics like colorism and other sort of generational traumas that impact us. And you know, where do Black women find that sisterhood and fellowship and healing while we are still fighting all of these things? How do we navigate this space? So right now I'm going to pass it over to some other women who are part of Hearst Black culture to sort of ask you questions surrounding that topic. And we're just going to have a little candid convo about it all.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, Serayah. I'm Kia Gooseby. How are you?
Hi, Kia. I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's so good to talk with you, and I really loved watching you. I was a loyal fan of Empire, and I was
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like, you know, the show sucked you in from the very beginning, and it was just like hard to like honestly let go. So to be able to talk with you like in this form of like this next season of your life. But I just, you know, as we're all like Black women trying to like navigate and like keep our head up, like I just want to know from you, like what inspires you and what motivates you like as a Black woman to kind of keep going and keep your head up and just keep moving forward.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, like many people, I do feel like to just life's ups and downs and fighting through trials and tribulations just to get to, for instance, something that you're dreaming of. I heard that you guys were talking about that you went to college, and a lot of great colleges as well. And making it through milestones in your life are already a tough thing, right? To keep pushing yourself through that. So I think for me, it's just keeping the fight going for my mom and for, you know, for my grandma that did it, you know, and the ways that they did it. And I'm taking the new torch and doing it in the entertainment business. And I want to be involved in a way that does impact the world and does impact, you know, especially my fellow sisters. Like, it's very important. She brought up colorism. And I've been seeing this, and it makes me it makes me just feel so much like there's so much we need to do. There's just so much work we got to do. And if I can have my hand in it in any way, that's kind of just what keeps me motivated. I've visited a lot of schools and talked to a lot of young girls and Black girls in specific. And I've seen these issues, and I've been the one pointed at. And I'm like, you know, it's just very interesting, and it's deep. And I really want to be there firsthand for those kinds of conversations like I am today. And I think that's what definitely keeps me going.
Nice. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Serayah. Cortland.
Hey.
So just to even like expand upon that a little bit more, one of the things that I've been seeing on your Instagram a lot is how you've really been doing like a lot of posting about Black Lives Matter and everything that's going on. But slowly but surely, we are seeing our timelines go from Black Lives Matter Spirit Week back into like normal, right? Like, you know, people are starting to post their outfits again and all this kind of stuff. So like, what do you think we can do to make sure that this lasts longer than a moment and is actually a movement?
I just had this conversation with my friends last night. You know what? I'm trying to figure out that same thing. And the only thing right now I can think of is having honest conversations with your friends and whoever that you may know, and using your platform to be the example, because it's easier to go back to just however their comfortability is, whoever it is. And I understand that, but I disagree.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just another post, another hashtag, isn't what we need. And we need serious change, and we need to be devoted to that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it starts with the conversation, and it starts with caring about the future, really.
And it's hard, right? Because like we're already craving normalcy because we've been jacked.
Quarantine, yes.
Normalcy. So it's like to see our timelines go back, it's like, yeah, we want it, but we don't really want it because we got other stuff to do. But
yeah,
I know it's really hard.
Yeah. I think that Cortland brought up something really important too, because I think from my stance as a Black woman that works in this industry, and just a Black woman in general, you see your peers and you see other brands and publications now posting this Spirit Week stuff, and you wonder, would there have been this much movement or this much virtual activism had we not been in a quarantine? Because it's happened before. We saw Philando Castile and we had to go back to work, or we saw and know what happened with Sandra Bland and we had to put on a strong face and go out into the world the next day. So I think we're all seeing it in our face, and there's no way to avoid it, but how do we make sure it's a sustainable solution and a conversation and action behind that's just ongoing in perpetuity?
Absolutely. That's a very good point. Quarantine has made us kind of locked down in a lot of ways. And I do feel like that is a lot of the reasons for the protesting and everyone uniting and things like that. But honestly, I would have it no other way, because I hate that, it turns into a hashtag and then everyone's just back to posting about whatever,
but now like, and we ain't got no job, we hit in the streets.
Right. Right. And we have, I was out there and there was, more not Black people out there, I want to say, not only white, but just not Black. And that felt great. It felt great to at least see that. So if quarantine took it to happen, I'm all here for it, because we're all kind of going through something together anyways. And for this to be kind of the pitchfork of it all, for us all to be out there, it makes a lot of difference.
Thanks, Doro.
Hey, Serayah. My name is Christine Falakun. I'm the product marketing manager for the digital side of Hearst.
Amazing.
So much for joining us today. We're touching on topics that I feel like are really important. So thank you for that. I want to touch on the topic of colorism with a quote that I saw online. So here we go.
Deep breath.
Black women are really fighting two wars right now: racism and colorism. What are your thoughts around separation we see too often in Black and brown communities that pin light-skinned women and dark-skinned women against each other?
We're talking about generations of deep-rooted emotions. We can't start at the surface. We have to go back. And I think a lot of everything that we have to do as a people in general is heal certain wounds, right? And that means, to me, supporting each other through the healing process, because, oh man, I specifically went to a all Black girls concentrated convention, and colorism was kind of at the forefront of it all, and they invited me to come. And that was when I've gone through things in my life with light skin, brown skin, whatever the case may be, but I got to really see how everyone really felt about it. And it was very disheartening, and it was really sad. And I felt like, at that point, I didn't really know what to say to be a voice, right? Because I was kind of just in the midst of it all. And I know how I feel, but I can't discredit how another one feels. So I think just compassion and trying to understand where each other is coming from, but being there for each other. Because I've just seen some really ignorant comments about how can light-skinned girls talk about Black Lives Matter when they don't have to go through it. You know, light-skinned girls are the devil. They treat us worse than the white man. I've just seen a lot. So I just think we have to go way back down to the root of it all, and we know where it all comes from, and we have to begin to heal those wounds so that we look at each other in the same eye, you know what I mean, the same with the same love and compassion.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I saw the same online, and it put me in a position where I didn't know what to say, but just to reflect and kind of think about it. But I'm glad that your perspective is very on the lines of what, you know, a lot of us feel out here.
Yeah, because, you know, everyone's experience is so unique, from what maybe you were picked on, or from who your parents are, if you're mixed, or if you're not mixed and you're just light skinned. There's a lot. We come in so many different shades and colors and sizes, and you know, we're not one dimensional, and so
Right.
Especially not now. I mean, the world is mixed so much. I just feel like what we're doing right now is the healthiest way to get through it.
And it's just not the time. Like, we're already going through so much. Like, why are we fighting each other now? This is not the time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think social media exacerbates it too. I grew up in the South, and I went to an HBCU. Hey, Clark, Atlanta. But I didn't necessarily grow up, or I wasn't really in environments where colorism was such a topic of conversation, especially going to a historically Black school, because it was just such an appreciation of Blackness in all of its facets. And we're not homogenous, we're not monolithic. But when I see these conversations on social media, sometimes I feel like, as a woman who has lighter skin, like, can I even insert myself? Because it might come across as insensitive and not understanding. So it's just and on top of everything else, it's like, do I want to have this conversation right now? Can I have it? Or do I prioritize these other fights that are just as important to me right now?
Absolutely. And you know what? These things are coming to the surface because they've always been there, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't feel like it's, of course, not the time when we're talking about people losing their lives. But it's definitely been kind of like kind of bubbling under the surface between our own race, and the fact that it's coming up is in the way that it is really sad, and it just makes me know, like, okay, here's another thing we need to work on, you know.
2020 has been a year of reckoning, honey. There's so many things on the list. Yeah.
We need to all just like tap into a Zoom sermon, take some notes, get it out. Like, we gotta start somewhere.
I really had plans for 2020, and they said nope.
Me too.
Sandy.
I think we all did.
We all did.
2020.
This was supposed to be the year of clear vision. Like,
oh, is
We
it
are right.
clear?
Oh, the vision
like,
is clear.
It's so clear. Not the way that I thought it was going to be clear, but okay.
Right?
I can see.
Who
Sandy, go ahead.
So my question was more on the lighter note. And just talk about like quarantining and like dating. So I did somebody was a Woman Crush Wednesday today. I was like, that is weird. So I just wanted to know, like, how has like quarantine been in like relationships? I know like it's hard because you can't go out, there's no date night. So like, how is he being like creative? Like, give us some tips, like, because the guys need to know. And I'm sure there's some guys watching, so take notes.
Oh my goodness. You know what? It's been really weird. But the first few weeks of quarantine we spent here, where my home is in LA, And then I just was in Atlanta for 2 weeks. So we kind of went back and forth, but it's very interesting. We chill anyways, but there's times where we just, we're in different sides of the couch or different sides of the room or the house for that matter. And I am recording a lot and at the studio, so that kind of creates some space. But for the most part, we just been really as a family and with Jacob just kind of just talking about everything and really. I mean, the first couple weeks was turned in my house. It was just loud. Everybody had wine every day. It was like, who's buying the next bottle? And we're going to talk and we're going to debate and everything like that. And then now it's like, we're more on the Black Lives Matter movement. And now it's the conversation has shifted. And we just went out to this really nice restaurant in Atlanta with one of our friends, Shamik Moore, and we were just talking and talking and talking for hours. And we looked around, the place was empty. We're just in there talking. So we're kind of just getting through it as we go, honestly. Couple arguments here and there, but
the normal.
Yeah, normal.
Yeah, I'm just like thinking about it. I'm like, so dating like here, it's just like, because we're in New York and like nothing is open. So it's like,
it's ghetto.
Yeah. Like, let's have like a Zoom date. Like, come on. Think outside the box.
Oh, I know. That sucks.
Yeah. Struggling over here. Like I said, 2020, I had plans. I thought it was find my husband 2020. Well, wait till next year.
Right 2021.
This was the year to set you up for that union.
The year
really
of preparation.
The year of preparation and
Amen.
like honing in on self and taking care of self. In 2021, he's coming. Okay, I got one here at home, and he stays upstairs. I stay downstairs because you need that space to not go crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a whole quarter of a year. 1/4 of this year we've been inside.
I can't believe it lasted this long, y'all. Seriously, like I was still filming, Empire, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna reconvene in a week." So we're like, "Okay." Never went back. just nothing. Like now we're like 4 months later. Like I would never expect it.
Do you guys have plans to pick up production if and when it's safe, or, is it in post and like the editors are trying to make what you guys shot work?
You know what? No, that's it. We were on air at the time in March, and it was kind of like they did that then because we were already on air. So they kind of post kind of put together something that we had shot, but we were missing like 2 of our last episodes. So they kind of put something together for the finale, but that was it. Fans were livid.
That was livid.
But so were we. 6 years, and then that to end it that way. So
I love
but we're all getting through it.
Yeah.
Maybe there will be like a special 2-hour Being Mary Jane style finale where we can get what we missed out. Yeah. We missed a lot. We
need that.
Really get those
we
bits.
need that.
Yeah.
We do.
Or like Star. We're supposed to be getting
my God.
every day now. So hopefully there's a movie in the works, because
I know.
Yeah.
That's another conversation. But I did see your role evolve, and you were a mother. So how how is it prepping for a role as being a mother?
It was different. It was really different, but I do have small nieces and godbabies, so I'm used to being around babies and kids and things like that. But it was different because they have their own personalities, and when you're shooting so we had twins, for instance. So we would switch them back and forth depending on who's feeling it or not. And so it's a really on the fly, on the go when you're shooting with them. Like, get your lines out, hurry up, because kids are just not gonna just be sitting there for too long. So it was really interesting, and I'm glad I got to see that and how they can like kind of cut around things and make things work as far as directing. So but I loved it. I loved it because I got to see those kids, some of the kids grow, from like 0 months or from 3 months to 3 years old. So it was a really cool experience.
That's so cute. I loved it. Who's that, Neka?
Neka.
It's me. Hi, I'm Neka.
Hi.
I'm a sales coordinator at Hearst on the corporate side. So I just kind of want to talk about your activity in the shade room. I've been seeing you in the shade room, and yesterday they posted like this, I guess, tweet, and it was talking stage 2 years, relationship 5 years, engagement 3 years, plan the wedding 1.5 years, get married. And then your comment, not that I'm a creeper, said, did I just count 11.5 years scratching head? I wanted you to, because I have my own thoughts, but I want you to further elaborate on what you see as your timeline, if you agree with that person's timeline. Is it shorter, is it longer? Not to be messy, but I was just, curious.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Neka.
I seen a lot of comments that were like, talking for 2 years, and I'm like, okay, that was like the big thing. So I look back at the posts and I'm like, hold on, these are all separate years. So I'm like, we talking about some 12 years. For me specifically, I know that, everyone handles relationships differently, and I respect that. But for me specifically, I can't wait no 12 years. No, you already.
12 years is like such a long time to like. I mean, people literally change in 12 years.
12 years is a preteen. That is a preteen.
Right.
Well, I have a 12-year story, but I think it's a little different because I met my husband in college, right? So
Right.
You grow up together. We had a little time, long distance, but like at this point, everybody's grown.
Yeah.
So you've gone through some of those stages, and it's kind of like we're older. We got to get to it.
Right. Absolutely. I feel you. Like I said, everyone's different. And if you have a certain situation or agreement with someone, that's fine. But, personally, I'm already too like, not impatient, but I need things to
Move.
keep I
Momentum.
can't like
Momentum.
right I'm not a very complacent person.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to feel like something's progressing, whether that's just like I don't know. I just can't.
It was just a lot.
12 years.
It don't take you 2 years to know if you like somebody though. Like
That's what I'm trying to say. You either like me or you don't.
Stage was too long.
right.
Like
talking stage was really long.
Too long. Like someone else could come into the picture and then you get sidetracked. Like
But then also I think for me too, when I come from this, because I obviously we talk about this as women, but a lot. But I think for me it's just like if you have this predetermined thing as the guy was, like it has to be this year's, it has to be this year's, it has to be this year's. I just think that you should be able to meet someone and things should go as they do. I don't think there should be any pressure, as well as like I'm not saying I'm pressuring you to marry me in 2 years, but I think that if we're on this natural thing together and it just so happens to be that long, okay. But like for you to tell me like you're not gonna do nothing until 12 years, that's like
like you're not gonna be in a cookie lion, Lucius.
We don't even know if we're gonna
situation.
be alive.
We're not doing that.
Right?
With the way the world is blowing up right now, like 12 years is really a long time to gamble on one person at this point. Like that's a long time. If you're not showing me no commitment, because till death do us part, the way the world is going, who knows what that would be? I need momentum. I need you to pick up the pace. Mind you, I'm still a fetus and I don't have any, prospects, but
Yeah.
the tweet bothered me.
No, yeah, because
That's
I
real.
was doing the same thing, and I'm calculating it, and I'm like, hold on now, he's got it all figured out.
Right.
This is a long time.
That is so funny.
Now, given like how heavy and like emotionally taxing the past few weeks have been, I'm wondering what you've been doing to kind of keep yourself sane and how you've been taking care of yourself. Like, what would you say the last like self-care thing you've done to kind of just add some type of joy to your day?
I think, oh shoot, let me think.
But whoever's in the background wants to tell us.
I know. My mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hey,
I'm
Mom.
like,
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Mama.
she's actually laughing at the last topic we were talking about. The last thing, I love going to spas and getting, massage and things like that for self-care, but it's turned into like doing natural at home, like hair masks with a bag on my head and like, my favorite turmeric face mask and like, and just, I've been enjoying, honestly, because I'm used to ripping and running and being on some type of schedule. I've been really enjoying just reading and doing things that I was either too tired to do or didn't have enough time to do. So when I'm able to sit around and watch like documentaries on Netflix or read, a new book or have these conversations with my friends, I think that is a part of like my self-care during quarantine, because I'm just a conversationalist in general. So that is a lot of like healing for me. And when I'm able to learn something new, I just feel a lot better.
Oh, well, now that you have all this time to do kind of like whatever you want to do, I'm sure you've been, gearing up to like release your new music. You just released Miss You. And that, takes me back to like the 90s. Like it reminds me of Faith Evans' I
Yes.
Love. Okay, I wanted to make
Yes.
sure, right? But that just brought me back to the 80s. That old school R&B. The song is very like vulnerable, very different from what we're hearing now from a lot of female artists, because it's kind of hard for us to be vulnerable because you want to be savage, you want to play all these dudes.
I know.
But exactly. But how does that song Miss You kind of set up the overarching theme you have for your upcoming like project?
I'm so glad that you realized that, because I do still consider myself a new artist, even though I've been on TV. But as far as releasing music and connecting with my fans, I want my first project to be vulnerable, and I want them to get to know me. I am a savage in a lot of ways, but I felt like what better way to cut through a stream of music than to just be myself. So that was one of the main reasons I specifically chose Miss You to be a single. And there's a lot of other joints that I can't wait for everyone to hear, because I am taking the 90s approach because I love the 90s, hands down, R&B. And we're taking it back to bridges. We're taking it back to being vulnerable. We're taking it back to saying I'm in love, or we're taking it back to saying get out, hit the curb. And that's just where I want to be musically, and I'm just so glad that my fans are like receiving it in the same way, because it's a vulnerable thing to write music and for it to be your perspective. and when you're involved in the process, and then to see how the public responds to it. So it's a great feeling, and I'm really excited to kind of be on that wave.
Well, we are all looking forward to your new music, and hopefully we get a little bit more of it this year.
Yes.
But since we're on the topic of music and songs, we wanted to revisit a game with you that you actually played with Elle a few years ago called Song Association. So the rules are super simple. I'm going to throw out a word, and you have 10 seconds to use that word in a song.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put a quarantine twist on it. So all of the words have something to do with stay home, hanging out, not doing too much, right?
Okay. Do I get help with this time? Because last time.
We might throw you a bone. We might throw you a little bone.
Okay.
Wait, does someone want to do the timer, and I'll say the.
I'll do the 10-9. I'll do it over here.
Okay, and just let me know when you're ready, Serayah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so the first word is home.
Oh, geez. I don't know.
I'm holding on to the two.
I was
two.
trying to make you read my list.
Faith Evans.
Just hold on, I'm coming home.
Oh, shit. See, this is. Oh, Lord.
I tried to give you Faith Evans.
It's all right. All right. So the next word is chill.
Miguel.
What?
Guy.
I can't. I don't know.
You're going with this.
A lot of pressure. I see the fingers and then I can't think. I'm just like, okay, wait.
Chill.
I still can't think of what song it is. I'm so much pressure.
Let's chill.
No fingers on the next round.
Oh, let's chill. Oh, yeah. Well,
Let's
settle down. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Hey. Dang, all after the daggone. Okay.
It's fine.
Oh my God. That.
No fingers next time. No fingers.
She's like, girl, you need help.
The next word is lonely.
I know this.
You got this, sis.
Janet Jackson?
Janet Jackson.
Oh, I guess I'm lonely.
Yeah.
To say I hope you are the one. Yeah, okay. You guys are good at this.
The next word is inside. That's a hard one.
Yeah. That is a hard one.
I have a good one. Wait, I don't know if you this is a deep cut.
Jesus Christ. I am not made for this game. Inside.
Beats me.
I don't need
Yeah.
Kia, what's yours?
Kia, what's your song?
Oh, do you guys remember Monica's album, Monica's The Boy Is Mine album? She had a song called Inside. I don't know. That's a deep cut.
Oh, wow.
Oh. No. Is it bad?
Y'all lost that round.
Brandy fan.
But I just gotta pull that out. It's a good album, by the way.
I gotta go listen now.
Yeah. Missing.
Missing?
This should be easy.
Okay.
Missing. I can't say miss.
No,
you
can
can
miss.
Girl,
We
go
can
ahead.
give you miss.
Well, I miss you. I miss you. My song.
The next word is stuck.
Stuck? Ooh.
I feel like Danny DeCane has a song.
We all look stuck right now.
That's I was like, that's a trick. Is that a trick
The
question?
Pussycat
Sandy?
Dolls.
Oh, Pussycat
What
Dolls.
song?
What's
Stuck
up?
with
What
you?
song?
No, isn't it Stick With You?
Stick. Oh,
Oh, I
it's
just
stick.
want to be stuck with you.
Stick. It's
Stick.
stick.
I
It's
think it's
stick.
stick.
My bad. My bad.
Stick.
Let me mute myself.
I feel like we set you up for failure. I'm so sorry.
We struggling ourselves. That's not right.
I'm struggling. Like,
All right, last word. I think
Okay.
I think we might be good with this one. The
Okay.
last word is you.
yeah, you is pretty. Okay, let me not go for something.
I'm moving my head to try to feel it with her. So I can
baby, it's you. Damn it, what's the rest of it?
We're all like,
We're ready to go.
Cause baby, it's you. Who is that? Is it JoJo? Oh, JoJo or something?
oh, I know what you're talking about. Baby, I'm the one. It's you. That one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought you were going to do it.
I got one. I got two, maybe.
You got two. Yeah, two.
You got to. So that was just a practice. That was a warm up because once this project drops, we have to get you back. We have to have you in to shoot
I'm gonna be ready.
another proper. Yes, just practice. It's a fun game. It's fun.
Yes.
So before we log out and in tonight, I wanted to open it up to some of our Q&As from some of the viewers on the call. So there are a few questions in the chat in the lower part of the screen, so you can go through and read the question and respond with your answer.
Okay, should I tap answer live or just read it?
Yeah, you can read the question and just click answer live and let us know your response.
Okay, cool. There's one that says, I'm excited for your new music. Are you doing any more TV shows? Thank you so much, by the way. And I am so excited to be auditioning for more TV and film roles. My dream is to be in more movies and do my music alongside each other. But I would be so open to, guest starring on some of these, really cool TV shows that are out right now.
Serayah, is there like a dream role, either one you've seen before and would love to reprise, or some new character you could set that you would love to play on screen?
Yes. So there's a couple dream roles that I've always wanted to do, and one was Catwoman. And I really loved that movie, and I love Halle Berry too, which is the one that I grew up watching, even though I don't know why that wasn't supposed to be the best one, but I loved it. And then also I want to play just like a romantic like dramedy type of role. Like I'm in New York and I'm just like, there's this guy and I'm a CEO and like,
yes.
That's an energy. That's the life I want to live to, girl.
Right? Manifest. I'm just like so busy. My assistant is calling me.
Right?
Blowing me up. That's busy energy.
What else is there? Should I read another one?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Let's see. What is your greatest fear? I feel like this is a good one. I think my greatest fear is being fearful, honestly. Like I deal with myself every day on being fearless, and because there's so much going on in the world, let alone things that we personally go through. So it's just something that I think every day is an accomplishment at the end of the day. And that's truly how I feel, because sometimes you just don't even feel like getting up. And the fact that you did it you were fearless, you powered through with a smile on your face. That's kind of what I go for. And
I love that.
maybe one more, or how many more you think?
Yeah, one more is good.
Okay. Here's one. Her birthday's on the 20th. Any special plans? So yes, my birthday's this weekend.
Yay.
And I'm actually going to do a boat situation with my family and friends. And we're gonna just have fun for the first time in a long time. So I'm excited to be doing that this Saturday.
I love that. And you might not know this, Serayah, but you share a birthday with a very special person.
Who?
Me, girl.
No way!
Yes. We have the
real?
same birthday. Yes. So
Oh my
same
gosh.
thing.
Happy
Except
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Early
to
birthday.
you.
Yes.
We're ending Gemini season, but our birthday this year falls on the first day of summer. So I really feel like it's going to usher in better times ahead for sure.
Yay, yes. How do you feel when it do you ever feel okay, I'm just off topic. Do you ever feel influenced by Cancer, or do you feel like you're more Gemini?
I think when people talk about being on the cusp, like I really embody that. I have when you were talking earlier about you need something, like you need a plan of action and momentum, I feel that too. And if I don't feel that, I get stuck. But then there are the days when it's emotions and everything. So it really depends on the day.
Oh, yes, me too. Okay, I just wanted to see.
I understand.
and Tika,
yes, and Tika Sumter actually shares our birthday as well. We hosted a Quarantinis with her, and it was like the same thing. So it's so funny.
Oh, so cool. That's so dope. Yeah, I met her once. She's very beautiful and very, very nice. I loved her. But that's so amazing. I hope you have an amazing birthday.
You too. And I have one more question for you in light of entering into a new year of your life. What advice would 2020 Serayah give to 2019 Serayah?
Ooh, there's no rush. I think that quarantine slowed me all the way down, like forcefully. Like legit, yeah. I'm the person that like sends text messages to my team at 3 a.m. about I just woke up with something, and like I'm already just going, you know. And so quarantine forced me to like come, like just bring it all the way down, relax. It's okay. You don't have to fight for time, and just I would tell my 2019 self, there's no rush.
There's no rush. They're words that we can all take and absorb and live by for sure. Well, we definitely appreciate you spending this Quarantini hour with us today. And before we go and sign off, just let us know where we can follow you, where we can connect with you online, and any projects you have coming up.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys. It's been amazing. And the content that we talked about was so needed. So thank you for having me. My music is going to be coming out soon when the time is right, but it's already all done. Everything's done, because I know my fans have been like, okay, sis, but where the songs at? And I'm like, you know what? Let's just take a pause. But the songs will be coming out later this summer. And then also just follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and Facebook. Everything's just at Serayah, Serayah.
Are we taking a group picture?
Yes, we need a group photo.
Reapply.
Let me get my Fenty together.
Everybody's at their last minute touch-ups.
Right.
If my lips look dry, they just look dry. I ain't getting up.
Who's gonna do it? Christina, are you gonna do it? You know how to do it. You're on mute.
I can screenshot it too.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if I have the same view as the viewers, but we can go ahead and do
the gallery view.
Yeah.
Make it pop.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nice.
Oh, I know that was good.
I felt it.
I felt my collarbone pop.
You're right, the collarbone when it.
You trying to get these angles.
Right?
Well, thank you again, Serayah, for spending this hour with us. And then everybody else who joined in, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And Sandy, where can everybody follow Hearst Black Culture?
So we're on Instagram and it's Hearst HBC / was it Hearst Mag / HBC? Like we changed it to
Hearst Mag _
Hearst
HBC.
Mag _ HBC.
Amen.
And like we're so thankful. Like we started this just so we can have conversations like this and let everyone know that, you know, we are here at Hearst. Like we're trying to bring in diversity, inclusion, and making sure our stories are told the right way. So thank you so much. We really
also on YouTube and Spotify for anyone who wants to catch up on any prior episodes. So go ahead.
Yeah, and we're gonna
Christy, you
What's the plug? Love it. Well, thanks, y'all. This is always a good time, and my spirits have just been lifted. I love like seeing everyone's faces, and just this sense of fellowship does so much for all of us. So we're doing it again. So
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Serayah.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Serayah.
Serayah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.